Well, hi there, fantastic, amazing, hopefully in great health people. We'll move on to chapter 19. 2 more to go after this. This is just all about the goodness of God and how great He is, and to give people encouragement. All these chapters we have in this book, No Idols 777. Have you ever had a sharp stabbing pain go from your back all the way down your leg? Back surgery time? Not unless God says so. Here's what happened a couple years ago. I was getting one of those coughs around Christmas time. Have you ever had one of those coughs that you just cannot stop coughing? You're just coughing, coughing, coughing. I need to go sleep out in the living room so I don't wake up my wife and kids, It was just a terrible cough. I would not stop coughing. And I was going up our stairs, and at the top of the stair, I went to put one leg up and turn left, and I gave one of those super fast, hard coughs all of a sudden. And as you would hear people say, it kind of put my back out. It really hurt tremendously in my very, very lower part of my back, which has always been a trouble spot every now and then anyway, probably from racing and things like that for years. But it hurt so bad that, it's one of those ones you had to sit and couldn't walk for very well for a little bit. But every time I would cough from then on, it felt like someone was taking a very sharp object and stabbing me with it at the very top back of my right leg. I did everything I could not to cough, and it wasn't working very well since I had such a bad cough. But the next day it started getting worse and worse, and it was hurting my back. So I made an appointment Friday after work to go see my chiropractor, which was the very next day. I went there and saw him, and as soon as I was laying there, whatever he saw from his experience, he said, "Nope, I can't even touch you here. This has nothing to do with chiropractic." He said, "I need to schedule right away an MRI for you to get looked at. But in the meantime," he said, "you need to get right over to a doctor, and they're going to give you some steroid, probably a steroid shot or steroid pills." He said, "I'll tell you what, the pain pills they give you, no matter how good they are, how big they are not going to help. If this pain goes down your leg, down the right side of your leg and toward your foot, you're in big trouble, and that's where it probably is headed." I said, "Okay, thanks so much." And on the way home, I called friends. I called Daryl and others, my wife, and asked them to pray because it was really hurting. The pain was getting pretty intense just on the way home. So the next morning, I need to run over and go to the urgent care. As I slowly get in there, Chris wasn't feeling it well that day, so I drove over, but boy, it was painful, and I was really moving slow to get in the doors, and it was just hard to walk and even sit down. So I went in to see the doctor, and she not only gave me steroid pills, but the steroid shots as well. Never had steroids of any kind, but I got plenty that day. And she gave me these horse pills that were pain pills, the very ones that the chiropractor said wouldn't do a thing. You're dealing with a major nerve in the spinal cord of your back, and you've got some real problems there. So what happened by the end of that day, or even by the time I got home, laying on the bed, it was so painful. So painful. I couldn't even move. Asked no one to even touch the bed. It was that painful. Literally. Got a pretty good threshold for pain, but I'll tell you, this was difficult. It was you didn't even want to move at all. Could not sleep. It was pretty bad. And so that was the end of Saturday. Sunday was the same thing. People were praying, and Monday morning he had scheduled for the MRI. And my whole thought was, how is it even going to be possible to walk down these stairs? It's so difficult to walk on a flat floor, but going downstairs and then having to go all the way to a doctor's, walk in there, and then be put on this hard metal bed that slid into the MRI machine. I'm thinking, wow, I don't know how this could have got to be God to get me through this, because this pain is just excruciating. Well, the next morning, I got just a barely little bit of rest. When I went to get up, it felt better. And as I went to get out of bed and started walking around, it felt even better. The more I walked, the less pain there was. And I was ready to go. I got showered, I got ready, went to the doctor's. I was walking very well. Laid on the MRI, and they had all that noise going on, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I'd never been in one. But I felt great, which was amazing to me. And then he got the results, our chiropractor got the results. The next day, he called me and said, "Mike, when is your surgery? When did they schedule it?" I said, "There is none." He said, "That's no way." I said, "No, really, I'm telling you. People have been praying. I'm doing great. I feel fine. I have no pain whatsoever right now." And he said all his many, many years, he's never seen anything like that. He has the results. They show that the results show the bottom two discs in my back. The bottom one is totally destroyed. It's gone. It's just bone against bone. And the one above it it's cracked, and it's leaked out all the fluid that helps the disc move in between and everything. So that one's just about gone. He said it's impossible for you to be walking pain-free. It's just scientifically, medically impossible. Not happening. I said, well, praise God, because I'm feeling great. I even called him a couple of days later. I actually went golfing. Felt great. He couldn't believe it. And I believe him. I still feel great. I have a little bit of pain every now and then if I do things, maybe like a lot of people do with their backs. But I feel fantastic. It's been quite a long time now. And I'm just thanking God for that. So that's that testimony. I also want to mention the last testimony. Last time I mentioned a couple of our kids with challenges. I don't mention that for any reason, for a negative reason. I just say things like they are. With foster care and children and living life in general, there are challenges that come to everyone, no matter what you believe. And even the God we have, He allows us to go through challenges at times to work on our character, integrity, and different things. So just hang in there. God is always there with us. He's so good. I can imagine going through some of the things we've been through without God. I can't imagine that whatsoever. And I feel for anybody who does that without Him. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a tremendously blessed day, and we'll see you at chapter 20.